Last part for section 7.2 is the surface area. The formula for the surface area is 2 pi multiplied by the integral of a to b, the function y of t multiplied by the square root of the derivative of the x function. So this was the dx dt square plus dy dt square dt. So the example we have is we want to find the surface area of a sphere of radius r centered at the origin. So this is a three-dimensional sphere. So what we can do is we can, so let me just write it, find the surface area of a sphere of radius r centered at the origin. So if we are looking at we cannot really finding the surface area of a three-dimensional object. But what we can do is we can thinking about, I can have a semicircle. And then I'm going to rotate this semicircle. So it will become to a three-dimensional sphere. Then for the semicircle graph, we actually had it before on the previous previous video. The equation is going to be x of t is r cosine of t, y of t is r sine of t, where t is going to range from 0 to pi. The reason for us to use r instead of 3 from the previous example is we're talking about the radius is r, some general number. So the surface area is going to be this one. We need to take the derivative of the function x and then the derivative of the function y. So s is equal to 2 pi integral from 0 to pi. Yt is r sine of t multiplied by the square root of the first derivative, x prime, is going to be negative r sine of t squared plus the first derivative of the y is r cosine of t squared dt. Simplify them. And we ended up with 2 pi times the integral of r sine of t times, y is t, this is a typo, it's supposed to be r squared, times r times dt. Still the same thing, sine squared plus cosine squared is equal to 1. Then square root of r squared is just r by itself. So we ended up with r squared sine of t dt. R is a constant, so we can put it out. So the only thing we need to take the antiderivative is the sine of t, which is negative cosine of t. Evaluate it at negative 0 to pi. We got negative cosine of pi minus plus cosine of 0, which is going to be 1. Negative of negative 1 plus a positive 1, which is 2. We got 4 pi r squared. So that is the surface area.